Hello, my name is Simon and welcome to AFC Bournemouth Analysis. Here's my take on our 2-2 draw with Newcastle United, a game where we definitely used up our one of these for the season. It was a game where there were few positives apart from the actual result, where we showed great spirit to come back from 2-0 down with only 10 minutes to go to score 2 goals. The team's done that so much, especially near the end of this in recent months, where they've just come back from losing positions to get points, to get wins. And it really was a game we had no right to get a result from. In terms of individuals, I thought Adam Smith played very well, looked good. As soon as he came on at half-time, he made a difference with his forward runs. Josh King also looked good when he moved out to a slightly unnatural position on the wing for him. So yeah, there were a couple of individual performances, but overall the main positive was that we managed to get a draw, and that's 2 poor performances in a row now, and we've managed to get at least something out of it. So yeah, that's really the only positive. As I mentioned, it was another poor performance, almost like the players weren't hurt at all by that Huddersfield spanking. It was one of our worst performances of the season, I think, for 70 minutes at least. There was no cohesion, passes just weren't making their mark, players didn't look interested, we were losing battles in the middle of the pitch, just like second balls and even first balls, second balls, third balls we were losing. Newcastle just looked more up for it, and they looked a very organised side up until the end of the match, where Rafa Benitez bizarrely decided to go way too defensive, sit on what they had instead of killing us off on the break, which they looked more than capable of doing, and really should have with a couple of chances they had in the second half. In terms of individuals, there were so many poor performances. Wilson was anonymous and got completely bullied by Lascelles, who was excellent. Steve Cook looked slightly shaky. Daniels looked terribly off colour and was rightly hooked at half-time. I'm not sure if it was an injury or tactical. I believe Eddie Howe said it was tactical, which basically means he was rubbish, which he was. Tactically, we were set up completely wrong. Eddie Howe trying 4-4-2 or 4-4-1-1, if you want to be completely accurate about it. Again, despite the fact that it has not really worked at all at any point this season. In fact, our poor start to the season could be attributed to the fact that we kept playing that formation. And it's a shame that we looked so exciting with that 3-4-3 formation we tried and played so well in Chelsea. And it's a shame that he's just completely abandoned it because of one admittedly terrible result at Huddersfield where we played it. But I think that was very much to do with the players not being up for the fight, not really the formation that day. But yeah, I think Eddie Howe needs to learn to 4-4-1-1 is just not going to get the best out of the team that we have, especially Josh King playing behind Wilson just doesn't work. Those two aren't a pair, especially in those positions, and the sooner he realises that, the better. Yeah, so there was a lot to be unhappy about on Saturday, but at least we didn't lose, I suppose. Obviously, Begovic could have done better with both goals, especially the second goal, where he perhaps could have come for the cross and then let a second cross that came in through him. That was pretty ugly. But just generally the players' rather lackadaisical approach to the whole match was very ugly and very disappointing, considering I think they owed the fans a performance after that Huddersfield defeat, and we didn't get it. The last minute equaliser, obviously, or second to last minute equaliser, was obviously a rather great moment, but being a sentimental sort, I kind of enjoyed Matt Ritchie being subbed off and being applauded by the whole ground and him applauding the fans back. I was glad to see he didn't get booed. I know he left for more money, but let's face up to facts. Newcastle are a bigger club than Bournemouth. They could pay him more. Rafa Benitez is an experienced manager, that's why he went there. So it was nice to see the reception the fans and him gave to each other, and the fact that Matt Ritchie didn't celebrate either goals in particular was nice to see as well. So yeah, that was probably my favourite moment of what was a rather poor match overall from our perspective. Yeah, I've had 3 people contribute through Facebook, so thanks so much for that, chaps. The first was Alan Harris, who said, "Since he's returned, Begovic has been poor, definitely need to go in for a keeper in the summer. What are your thoughts?" Well, I'm not sure I agree with that, to be honest with you. I think You could definitely argue that Begovic has been no better than Boric this season. I think the main thing that makes me want to keep playing Begovic over Boric is purely his age. I think Begovic will be our keeper for the next few years and counting, and I don't think Eddie Howe will be in for a keeper, and I don't really think we need to. I think Begovic has had a couple of poor games this season, but he's generally been solid. I think he'll get better as well. I think he didn't play first team football for quite a few seasons, and so I think he'll only get better. And yeah, I can't see us going in for a keeper when there are so many positions that we need strengthening much more desperately. Second was Tom Palmer, who said Francis was solid, Daniels was targeted and very poor. Begovic blunder for the second goal should have come for the cross, which dropped just in front of him, then the cross is hard at him, but should have used his feet and put it out. No way is a 6'7" goalkeeper getting down low that quick. Very fortunate result. Yeah, I agree, Francis actually had a decent game, arguably was the pick of the back four maybe. Ake was obviously excellent as always, but Francis doesn't usually put in a decent performance that well. Good, so you've got to give him some credit for that. Daniels has looked very poor the last few weeks and could very well be next season's Francis, if you get what I mean. So yeah, I think we definitely need to look into a new left back in the summer, especially if Daniels doesn't look like recovering from his recent poor displays. And I agree, Begovic was poor on Saturday, there's no getting away from it. But in the return fixture at Newcastle, he was very good and arguably was a large factor in us winning that game. So, you've got to remember that goalkeepers are the last line of defence, and if they make an error, they are, it's seen as much more harshly than if, say, a striker misses a chance or if a midfielder miscues a pass. So, yeah, I think he had a poor game, but I think he'll make up for it and over the course of the season. And finally, David Yates said, stop playing King at number 10, play him up front, Smith must start. Yeah, if Smith doesn't start next week, I'm seriously worried about Eddie Howe and his selection process. Just play Smith right back or left back, he can play either one pretty well. Although left back he's looked superb even though he's naturally a right back. But yeah, Smith's got to start, and King has to stop playing that number 10 role because he doesn't have the guile, I don't think, to play that position, and he's always had his most success with us as the lone striker. And if you have to put Wilson in the squad, put King on the wing, don't put him behind Wilson because it just doesn't work there. I don't know how many times we have to play that and that to happen for Eddie Howe to realise this. But yeah. So yeah, thanks for all your contributions, some rather good ones there I think. And if you want to get in touch for future videos, please do follow the channel on Facebook and Twitter. The URLs are in this video's description and also in text form here, right below my face. So yeah, please do get in touch, subscribe to the channel, it really helps. Like this video, comment, let me know what you think. It all helps the channel grow and move forward in a positive direction. I also write for Yahoo Sport once a week about Bournemouth, and my latest post is about Josh King being played on the wing. Unintentional rhyme there. But yeah, you can check out my latest post on Yahoo Sport by, again, visiting the link in this video's description. But yes, thanks so much for watching, and up the cherries in all departments.